Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
Good.
So I see a few people are joining, and just as a heads up, and I sent this to the chat, I will be adding everybody that joins as a panelist so that we can participate in a conversation. So when you see that request come through, please accept it. So we'll just give it a few more minutes and then we'll jump right in. And if you are recently joining, just to let you know, I will be adding everybody as a panelist so that you can participate in the discussion. If you see that request come through, please go ahead and accept it. We're just getting a few more people added into the room. Again, I will be promoting everybody that joins to a panelist so that you can participate in the discussion. So when you see that come through, please accept. All right, well, it is 1 o'clock, so let's go ahead and jump right in. I see some familiar faces and some new names as well. So this is a discussion about the book CRM or Die, which was written by Courtney and Chaz Ross Monroe. And I am Courtney Vance. I'm a senior project manager at CKC Consulting, and I will be guiding the discussion today. So if you don't have the book or haven't read it, that's totally okay. There's still useful information that can be shared through discussion. So we will be, but if you do have the book, we will be following along through chapter 6, which has some questions at the end of it, which I will also post in the channel as well. So I'll go ahead and drop those in. But before we dive into those questions, we'll go around and introduce ourselves, and I will start. Oh, I see one more to add. Okay, so I'm going to introduce myself and then I'll call on the next person and go around to let you introduce yourself. So hi, I'm Courtney Vance. I'm a senior project manager at CKC Consulting. I have the book, I have read it, and I am also in North Texas. So yeah, so basically when I go around, just give your name, your title, your location, if you have the book, and if you've read it. So the next person I'm going to call on is Erica.
Hi, I'm Erica Curtis. I'm the Marcom specialist at CKC. I am calling from Portland, Oregon. And I have read the book. Actually, I'm making my way through the chapters as we go. So I've finished chapter 6 and looking forward to discussing it.
Awesome. So I'm going to go in the order that I see them. So next I'm going to call on Gretchen.
Oh, okay. Now you can hear me. Hey,
Yes.
I'm Gretchen Saucy. I am with Mid-Atlantic Associates. We're environmental consultants, and I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina. And I have the book, but I have not read that chapter. But am new to the CRM stuff, so it's super cool. Anyway.
Excellent. So the next person I'm going to call on is Bailey.
Hi, I'm Bailey Gonzalez. I am with Thesis Partners. I am located in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and I don't have the book, but looking forward to getting it and getting to hear the discussion today.
Excellent. So next I'm going to call on Kim.
Hi, I'm Kim Sheldon. I'm a project manager with CKC Consulting. I am sitting apparently in a hole. I hit my camera right before this call, and I know I'm really low on the screen, so we're just going to go with it for today. But the hole I'm sitting in is in McKinney, Texas, which is a suburb of Dallas. But my joke is that I'm actually closer to Oklahoma because of the traffic. So I have read the book. I was able, as part of Courtney's team, to read it early a bit, and have then, since it's been published, renewed each chapter as we have these discussions. So I'm looking forward to what we talk about.
Excellent. And next up, Denise.
Hi, my name is Denise Yancey, and I'm having issues with my webcam.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
no
know.
problem.
I don't know what's going on, but it's just not working. I work at Atna Environmental up in Anchorage, Alaska, and I'm the database administrator for our group of companies. And I have read the book, but I'm still learning every time I take one of these reminder classes. Nice to meet you all.
Excellent. So next up will be Callie.
Hey, sorry, I don't have my video on. I have a lot going on in our office behind me. So I am in Houston, Texas. I'm the CRM manager at LJA Engineering, and I do have the book and have read it and have many notepads and highlights on it. We really love this here at my company, and 3 other people in my department have since gotten the book. So it's very enlightening and an awesome resource.
Excellent. And then next up, I have Jen. Oh, you're on mute, Jen.
Multitasking at its finest, not so much. Jennifer Batchelder with Micon in Dallas, Texas. I will not throw my friend Courtney Kearney under the bus about not having my copy of the book to read, but we're waiting to schedule lunch and do that handoff. And so I'm looking forward to that.
Excellent. Okay. So we've gone around and introduced everybody that's participating in the conversation today. And so now we're just going to move right into the book discussion. So I'm not actually going to go through like page by page on the book. We are actually going to be following through on the questions and having a discussion about, you know, some strategies that we ourselves have used. So the first question I have up is, do you know what you want, why you want it, and how you will get it? So this chapter is called Implement Your Vision. And a lot of us have already got our systems implemented. But for those that may be in the process of implementing, have you thought through whether you what system you will go with and how you will go about implementing? Or I guess I should start. Is anybody in the process of implementing right now? Ah, okay, excellent. Have you guys thought through, you know, which system you might go with? Or I guess, where are you at with your process of implementation?
So for me, I've done a couple of demos with a couple of different systems. What I'm finding is that we are a small firm, so I'm struggling with that a little bit and how to find the right fit for our size and if it just logistically makes sense for us. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Absolutely. And what about you, Gretchen? Have you guys decided on what platform you might use?
We did, and I kind of raised my hand and waved it because we implemented it probably about a year ago, but we're a small firm. We have probably 20 people max. and trying to decide what we really wanted, but also who was going to do it and how that was going to happen. It's continually a work in progress.
Yes, for sure. And those of you on the call that are implemented, do you have any words of advice for when you were deciding which platform to go with? Oh, it looks like Denise has raised her hand. Go ahead, Denise.
Hi. Yeah, we did a lot of research. We found out what other people in our area were using. We also talked to people who already had different CRMs available. We also looked at the specifications and everything on our on the websites for the different programs. And of course, we also made a list of wishes of things that we'd like to see, and we used that to help match us with what we eventually got.
Excellent. And I saw you come on screen, Jen. Did you have any comments?
I was trying to unmute. I think it would boil down to ultimately what you want your end result to be as far as how you're using it, whether it's just CRM or if you're looking for the marketing component and automating some of those processes. My understanding is some of them don't, from a marketing perspective, if you're wanting to use it for integration for creating proposals or whatever, that they don't all have the same functionality.
Excellent. So the next question I have is, are you actively showing your support for the CRM process and integrated solution? And second part to that, do your fellow firm leaders also demonstrate their buy-in? So I guess the point behind this question is are you showing that you're excited about the project or product, and do you have leadership behind you? Anybody demonstrating support for the product and have leadership back support?
So at my firm, we have the kind of, I don't know how you would say it, I guess a little different situation in that we built out our own system. And so it's continued to grow, but we're at a point right now where we're really kind of pushing this out to our different groups. And they all seem to be really excited about it. We are showing our excitement for it. And we technically have the backing of our leadership. Like anytime in big meetings, they're always like, yes, this is important. But I'm finding that they don't actually themselves do anything with it or really actually press people to do it. They just say it at like a meeting and then it just kind of falls flat. So that's kind of the hard part of people being like, yes, it's important, but then they don't hold anybody accountable to where, a lot of these people, like I'm just somebody in marketing and I can't tell them what to do when other people are in a position to do so, and they don't actually hold people accountable. So that's kind of really difficult.
So this is a very common story amongst clients that we work with at CKC Consulting. Anybody on the call can join in on that experience, or do you have a different experience? And then I see that Gretchen may have raised her hand. Oh, wait.
Yeah, I was just going to say, since we're so small, I'm really the only one in the system right now, which is a plus and a minus. The plus is that I know the data is good. The minus is that it's a lot of work.
Sure.
It is a ton of work, but I am finding ways to show it to leadership and the office on a regular basis. And slowly they are beginning to understand the value. but it's a process. Yeah. And I don't know that I really want them in there. Messing my stuff up.
Oh yeah, there is definitely an element of of worry. It's you get it perfect and they're like, oh, something's going to happen. I totally get it.
Yeah.
I do have some control tendencies for sure. Okay, well, moving on to the next question. Have you downloaded the list of questions, answered them, and documented the results? So if you haven't read the book, you may not be aware that we do have some free resources available that coincide to the book. If you go to the website crmordie.com, it will redirect you to a subpage within our C. Kearney Consulting website, which allows you to download that information. I think it's actually, I'm going to drop the link in because I'm not sure if that link works, but I'm going to drop the link into the webpage here just in case. So if you go to that website, there are resources available to download that coincide with the book. And one of those is an internal interview questionnaire that you can basically find out how your team is currently collecting contact information, project information, figure out what their must-haves might be, and that helps with determining what system you might want to utilize. All right, has anybody been to this website before and checked out any of the resources available? No? Well, I
wish you had this when we were looking a couple of years ago.
Right? Yeah. I think the book came out after you guys selected your system. But yes, that would have been helpful for sure. All right. So last question. If you are evaluating systems, have you created and populated your selection matrix? And in the book, this is basically just a spreadsheet table. You have your must-haves, and then each column would be your different CRM solutions, and you basically are checking the box like this one has this feature, this one does not, so no check there, and it helps you figure out your best possible option. Has anybody done anything like that when evaluating their systems? No. What is a helpful tool? I actually, I reread the book after reading it again, and I was like, I kind of did that when I was looking for a car. Still looking for a car, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
Similar thing. It was, we wanted lots of windows, that kind of silly thing, but it was like gut feel, there's still it helps quantify. You can really lay things out. And a lot of times we're so used to buying things online, and you'll look at a couple of products on something like Amazon and it'll say compared to these. And so just applying what we already use as other tools to a big decision for a firm like this, I think maybe you get buy-in because people can lay it out in comparison.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and it does help to think through, how you want the system to operate and what your must-haves are, because you want the system to help you as a tool to make your life a little bit easier when it comes to managing your data and using it to basically procure new work through managing your relationships. So if you are in that process of determining which one would be the right fit, developing a matrix is definitely recommended. All right. And then the second part to that question, are you in control and driving the selection process as opposed to being driven by it? So if you are in the process of considering which CRM solution would be best for you, the book, is definitely advising, to do your research. And you mentioned the car analogy again, it's like anyone who's gone to purchase a vehicle before, you usually go to the car lot, with an idea of what you want, what features are important, which ones are deal breakers, which ones are not. It's the same concept here. You definitely want to be informed about your needs for the system, so that when you go and you speak to the sales personnel at the different CRM solutions, you have a list of what you want, and that way you guide the conversation as opposed to the CRM salesperson. Has anybody done that process where they went to the CRM product and it was like, okay, these are what we want, can you provide this, and how did that go? No.
I was just going to make a comment that when we did it, I'd never used a CRM before. I had no idea what I was looking at. And we talked with 2 different companies. One was who handles our accounting software, because they have a CRM piece. We talked with them. And then we talked with another company, and the experience between the 2 of them was night and day. And it was kind of like we went with the other company because they were just so much more accommodating prior to this, during the sales process versus the other company, that I just kind of thought, if I don't even know what I'm doing now and you're not being nice to me about it now, what are you going to handle? What are you going to be like once I do pay you money?
Yeah, that's a very, very valid point. We often advise that, anything that you really want that may not be on the table, to negotiate it before the ink is dried, because once you sign that contract, it's just like you said, the initiative to go the extra mile is a little bit diminished. Yeah, so totally get it. And, that seems like the better choice. And hopefully that's, continued. How's your experience been so far?
Oh, they're fabulous. Have been rock stars, extremely supportive. We made the right decision. There's no doubt in my mind that we did. And I thank my lucky stars every day that I did not go with the other company, because I would be up a creek right now. I would. So
yeah. So with that, I'm going to open it up for a little bit of open forum. We have a few minutes left. If there are any other comments or discussion items before we wrap up, we can go ahead and chat for a little bit. Otherwise, I can give you back some time to your day. All right. Well, with that, I'm going to go ahead and close the webinar. So thank you so much for joining, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
thank you.
Bye.